Chapter 2, Newborn Puppies. The next morning, Kaya went to the stream, and the first rays of the sun struck through the blanket of mist hanging over the water. Sandpipers were stepping along the shoreline, and a raccoon searched for crawfish in the shallows. Kaya dipped in her water basket, then drank from her cupped hand. It was a quiet morning, but she could hear the voices of the boys taking their morning swim downstream. As Kaya drank, she saw Lone Dog appear on a rise a little distance away, then look around warily as she trotted to the stream to drink. Kaya set down her water basket and waited until Lone Dog had drunk her fill. Tots may we, Kaya greeted the dog softly. Look, here's food for you. I didn't forget. She held out the bones she brought with her on the chance she would see the dog. Lone Dog's ears pricked up, and she stood with her head lifted, sniffing all the scents traveling over the water and land. Kaya knew Lone Dog smelled the bone, but she didn't come to take it from Kaya's hand as Kaya had hoped. It wouldn't be easy to earn this dog's trust. Kaya called again, but this time Lone Dog began to back away. Don't go, Kaya said. You need this food. When Lone Dog hesitated, Kaya put down the bone by the stream. She picked up her water basket and started walking, as if she didn't have a thought for the dog. When she glanced over her shoulder, she saw Lone Dog seize the bone and lope off into the brush with it. In a moment, the dog had disappeared. Did I just see you feed Coyote? Raven called to Kaya. Several other boys laughed. They were running back to the village from their swim, water dripping from their bare arms and their hair. They were full of energy. They were full of the energy that the fresh, cold water had given them. You know that wasn't a coyote, Kaya said crossly. She walked faster. She wasn't in any mood to be teased by these bothersome boys who swarmed around her like a cloud of gnats. One of the boys was Foxtail, who had challenged her to a race when they were at Wallawa. He gave her a sly grin. You see, it's not a coyote, but it acts like one, he insisted. Coyotes travel alone, but dogs stay with their pack. And it should be guarding the camp, Raven added. Our dogs are supposed to protect us. That's their job. You shouldn't reward a lazy dog with a bone. My people would chase off a dog that didn't do its work, Two Hawks added. He was one of the gang now. Kaya gave Two Hawks an angry glance. It wasn't fair that he would criticize her after all they've been through together. When that dog gets used to us, she'll join our pack, she said. You'll see. We'll see her get fat on her food, then go her own way, Raven insisted. Now I know why Kaya likes that dog, Foxtail cried. She likes it because it thinks only of itself, just like a magpie. Isn't that right, Magpie? He swung around and walked backward so he could see Kaya's burning face as he taunted her. It took all of Kaya's self-control to keep herself from giving Foxtail a swat or letting a tear slide from her eye. When she'd never outgrow that awful nickname she got to when she failed to take care of the twins? Would the others ever forget that it was her fault? They'd all been swished. Firstly, she bit the inside of her lips so that she wouldn't let her anger or her disappointment show. No one can tame a coyote or a wolf, Foxtail said. Some girls can't tame a dog either. With that, the laughing boys bounded off. You're all skunks, Kaya thought. Fighting to be calm and to have good thoughts, she trudged back to the camp. Each day when all the women and girls went to dig roots, Kaya put the harness on the gray horse and trained it to pull a buffalo hide drag. Its sore hoof was healing well, and soon she was able to add lightweight pulls to the harness. The gentle horse began to learn to pull those too. As Kaya worked with the horse, her mind was on Lone Dog. Would she ever come to trust Kaya? Kaya looked for Lone Dog every time she went to the stream. She waited on the shore as long as she could, but Lone Dog didn't appear. Where was she? Perhaps Lone Dog had already moved on, and the boys had said she would. The thought that Lone Dog might leave made Kaya sad. With her sister in captivity, Kaya often felt alone, like the dog. She realized she wanted the dog to become her friend. One morning, as Kaya gazed at the empty shoreline, a thought came to her. Perhaps Lone Dog was working on the den she'd begun on the hillside. After Kaya took the water basket she had filled to her teepee, she went looking for that place again. Kaya was almost upon the den before she saw it. Lone Dog had hollowed out a deep circle beneath a rocky overhang. When Kaya crouched, she made out Lone Dog's yellow eyes gazing over the top of the nest, her face barely visible through the long grass. "Tots may we," Kaya said gently. "I thought I might find you here." She slowly went closer, hoping not to scare off the dog. Lone Dog watched her come. She wasn't wary or nervous. "What a good mother you are. Here, you must be hungry too." Kaya got down on her stomach and looked into the nest where Lone Dog lay. There, snuggled up next to one another against their mother's side, were 4 little newborn puppies. They were nursing, their paws pushing at their mother's belly. With their stubby legs and big bellies, they looked at Kaya more like ground squirrels than like dogs. Panting heavily, Lone Dog gazed up steadily into Kaya's eyes. She seemed calm and sure of herself now that she had given birth to her pups. "What a good mother you are," Kaya whispered to her. She watched the puppies nurse a little longer, then placed the food she brought at the edge of the nest. "Here, you must be hungry too." Lone Dog sniffed the meaty bone, then shifted herself and got to her feet so she could eat. When she stood, the puppies left their hold on her and squealed as they tumbled onto their sides. Their eyes weren't open yet, but they found one another by the warmth of their bodies and crept close together to fall fast asleep. Lying beside the nest, Lone Dog began to gnaw on the bone. Suddenly, her ears pricked up and she began to growl. Kaya looked around. She didn't see anything. "It's all right," she said soothingly. "Your pups are safe." But now Lone Dog was at her feet, her hackles raised along her back and her tail lifted straight up. She growled again, then lunged partway up the hillside, barking ferociously. Kaya jumped up too. Was the cougar after the helpless pups? Instead of a cat, Kaya saw Snow Paws stalking along the top of the hill. Maybe he was only investigating the new scents, but sometimes male dogs went after newborn pups. He must not harm Lone Dog or her little ones. "Get away! Get!" Kaya commanded him. Lone Dog continued to bark violently to keep him at bay. Snowpaws bared his teeth as if he were about to charge Lone Dog, but he changed his mind. He snarled and began backing off. He didn't want to fight with his fiercely protective mother or with Kaya, who had seized a thick stick and was shaking it at him. Even after Snowpaws disappeared, Lone Dog continued to bark. Only when she was satisfied that the intruder was gone did she return to her nest. The puppies had slept peacefully through all the commotion. Gnawing the bone, Lone Dog laid down beside them again. You know how to take care of your pups," Kaya murmured to her. "I'll come visit you again soon." "These willow branches must be carried down to the stream side," Countess said to Kaya and Brown Deer. "We need to build a larger sweat lodge." She handed the girls bundles of willows and took one on her own back. They walked downhill to the bank of the stream, where Kaya's mother was hollowing out a shallow pit in the gravel. Each day, in winter as well as summer, Kaya and the other girls and women bathed in the sweat lodge. The men and boys did the same. Sweat baths relaxed them and made them clean and healthy in both body and spirit. Countess set to work bending willow branches to form a dome over the pit. Brown Deer and Kaya followed her lead, placing the branches so that they followed the 4 directions. The girls often helped to build a lodge like this one. They put up sweat lodges everywhere they stayed. Why are you gazing at the hills instead of doing your work, daughter? Itis asked Kaya. Here, hold these willows so I can tie them together. I was thinking about Lone Dog, Kaya admitted to her mother. I found the den she made in the hillside. It's too bad the dog doesn't come to live with us, Itis said. She could help guard our camp. That's what the boys told me, Kaya said. They teased me about Lone Dog. They said she thinks only of herself. Like a magpie. Like me, they meant. They won't let me forget that nickname. Swan Circling had promised that the nickname wouldn't matter so much when Kaya got older, but that day seemed a long time coming. Kautza stood upright to rub her sword back with both hands. Don't you remember the story of how dogs, wolves, and coyotes came to be as they are, granddaughter? I think I remember, Kaya said. It's an old story, Kautza went on, weaving and tying willows into the framework again. 4 brothers were roaming the hills together. They were looking everywhere for food because they were very hungry. When they spotted teepees in a valley and smelled meat cooking, one of the brothers went down for a closer look. People gave him some meat to eat, and he went running back to the other 3 brothers and told them what had happened. If we go live with people, they'll feed us, he said. We won't go hungry anymore. But the other 3 brothers didn't agree with him. 2 of them said, if people feed you, they'll expect you to work hard for them in return. We'd rather go off together and hunt for our own food. The other brother said, I don't need people at all, and I don't need companions either. I'll go hunt by myself. So the first brother became a dog and chose to eat our food and do our work, Kautza continued. The brother who went off to live all by himself became a coyote, and the 2 brothers who chose to stay together and hunt as a team became wolves. Remember, Nimipu are like wolves. We're strong as individuals, but we always work together. That's how it should be. It's not natural for a dog to live all alone, Brown Deer chimed in. She's not all alone anymore, Kaya said. She's had her pups, 4 of them, like the story, but they'll grow up to be dogs, not coyotes or wolves. Daughter, don't be too sure of that, Itza warned. She began laying ryegrass thickly over the frame to create a covering. What do you mean? Kaya asked. I mean, I've had a glimpse of that dog, Itza said. She looks to me as if she's got some wolf blood in her. That would be bad, you know. A dog obeys its master, but no man can be master to a wolf. If there's wolf blood in that dog, she might challenge her master. You said you thought Lone Dog had been beaten. Maybe that's why. Brown Deer agreed. She might have been a child or snapped at a baby. She could be dangerous. She laid more armloads of ryegrass onto the framework. I think you should keep away from Lone Dog, Kautza said firmly. I think you should stay with the dogs we're sure we can trust. Kaya felt a stab of dismay in her chest. There's something I must ask you, she said in a low voice. Ask me anything, Kautza replied. I'll answer you as I think best. I hope you'll allow me to go on feeding Lone Dog, Kaya said carefully. I gave her my promise that I would help her. Shouldn't I keep my word to a dog as well as to a person? Kautza picked up several fir boughs and laid them on the floor of the new sweat lodge. She didn't speak as she spread out the sweet-smelling boughs, and Kaya knew her grandmother was considering how best to answer. She held her breath. Finally, Kautza straightened up and put her hands on her hips. I think I understand you, granddaughter. You want to be someone who always keeps her word, and that is right. You may go on feeding Lone Dog, as you promised you would, but I want you to be very, very careful for any sign that she might bite. Take my warning seriously, granddaughter. I will, Kaya said quickly. She felt the ache in her chest ease. Tots, Kautza's stern face softened and her dark eyes sparkled. Now, I'd like you to start piling up stones to use in our sweat lodge. Your mother named you for the first thing she saw after you were born, a woman arranging the stones for a sweat lodge like this one. That's your job today, Kaya Tommy. Do it well.